A big focus. US President Donald Trump used an Oval Office meeting to confront South Africa's president over baseless claims of genocide against white South African farmers. Trump ordered aides to lower the lights in the room and then play a video purporting to show evidence of violence against white Afrikaans. And the meeting was seen as high risk for Ramaphosa, who was hoping for a reset in relations with Washington, but he survived what could have been a much more serious blow to the country's ties, as per analysts. The testy exchange was reminiscent of the White House showdown between Trump and Ukraine's Zelensky, but Ramaphosa kept his composure, pushed back on Trump's assertions, and repeatedly tried to redirect the conversation to trade, which is what he was there for. Listen in to the reaction we've lined up for you.
What would it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for the President. It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that. It will be.
Our President will respond to you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on the around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So it'll take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But, Mr. President, I must say that we have, we have thousands of stories talking about it.
Sure.
And we have documentaries, we have news stories, and that. Is Natalie here, somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things, and it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the articles, please, if you would, and turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you, Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy the land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. You can do whatever you want to do.
And those cars aren't driving. They're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road, you have crosses. Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No. I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen. But, okay.
I mean, it's in South Africa, that's where.
For further clarity on the matter, let's go across to Washington, D.C. Nia Corte joins us live at the moment. He's a White House correspondent. Thanks so much, as always, Nia, for making time for us. This meeting, as I've just pointed out to our viewers here, it sounds eerily similar to Trump's tense encounter with Mr. Zelensky back a few months ago. Are we seeing a pattern here? And also, do we know what prompted Trump to play that video about so-called genocide of white South African farmers?
Well, thank you for inviting me this evening. Look, it was a major risk that the South African president was taking by meeting up with President Trump in the Oval Office. There are a number of South African aides that made very clear that the South African president was trying to avoid a Zelensky sort of moment, a Zelensky type encounter in the Oval Office with President Trump. And, it's very clear that the South African president studied that White House visit, among other visits among heads of state, so as not to fall into some of the same traps. You'll notice the tone of the exchange between the South African president and President Trump maintained a level of cordialness, a level of warmth, a level of respect and deference throughout the meeting. But to your point, the meeting did take a sharp turn when we saw this sort of reset on the ropes. Nobody was expecting President Trump to play that video of what appeared to be a very extremist group in South Africa. But rest assured that the South African president was very clear that there is no white South African genocide that is taking place. And he had folks in the room to back him up.
Yes. Also, was there any discussion on trade or investment, the topics Mr. Ramaphosa reportedly came to Washington for? Or would you say this meeting was hijacked by Trump's narrative?
I think this meeting could have been hijacked by the narrative, but it wasn't. I attended a readout led by the South African president following the meeting with President Trump. And there was some discussion around AGOA, the African Growth and Opportunity Act. There was some talk about trade between South Africa and the United States, investments, particularly related to critical minerals, and the effects of this trade war, these tariffs, the effects that they've been having on the South African economy and economies across Africa.
Right.
Some of those conversations were had. Look, I think the reset will not be clear for some time. I think whether or not President Trump decides to attend the G20 summit will be a major indication of whether or not this reset is headed in the right direction.
As always, thank you so much for joining us on NDTV with your views. We will, of course, revert to you for regular updates.